As shadows gathered over Balmoral Castle, a clandestine conversation took place that would send shockwaves through the corridors of history. What did Queen Elizabeth confide to the Archbishop in her final hours about Meghan? This revelation threatens to reshape the legendary monarch's legacy and redefine royal dynamics forever. Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. Balmoral, bathed in the waning light of the day, seemed to stand as a stoic sentinel against the whispers of time. Its stone fade, touched by the damp mist of the Scottish twilight, exhaled an ancient sorrow. Within those venerable walls, hushed secrets have echoed through generations, a fortress of tradition now shadowed by uncertainty. The mood was heavy, strained by anticipation, as if the very air was pregnant with the weight of unsaid truths. Beyond its gargoyles and spires, the castle was cloaked in an electrifying enigma, and at its heart, the most revered of figures faced the twilight of her reign. Beside the Queen's ornate bed sat the Archbishop, the steadfast custodian of divine confidences, bearing witness to the final testament of a sovereign. His presence was a silent testament to centuries of royal protocol, an invisible bridge between the temporal and the celestial. The Archbishop, with brows furrowed in solemnity, listened intently, aware that this moment was both sacred and seismic. As the Queen's voice, weakened but unwavering, traversed the intimacy of the chamber, he absorbed each word with due reverence, storing them as treasures of history not yet penned. A palpable tension permeated the corridors, a silent ripple that distilled into an oppressive anticipation among the household staff. Whispers in alcoves and glances exchanged beneath tapestries spoke of a dynasty at the brink. A portent of change hung like a spectre in the rafters. The fraying fabric of the Windsor prestige was being tugged at by forces both familiar and freshly formidable. The atmosphere in the royal household crackled with the kind of unease that preludes monumental shifts. It was a place where tradition and evolution trembled in precarious balance. As the final hours ticked by, an emotional maelstrom raged within the Queen's weary frame. Frail in physicality yet formidable in spirit, her eyes flickered with the reflection of duty and devotion, that which had defined her epical reign. Memories of triumph and tribulation wove through her consciousness, each a testament to her resilience. It was within this intimate cadence of remembrance that her thoughts crystallized into a singular, seismic unveiling. Her voice, imbued with an emotional weight that few ever witnessed, began to shape words that she alone could voice. And then, in a revelation as shattering as it was profound, the Queen broached a subject of contemporary contention, a discourse cloaked in the fragility of family and monarchy. Meghan, entwined in the Queen's musings, emerged as a focal point amid the labyrinth of legacy and love, an intricate figure of renaissance and rebellion. What the Queen imparted was no mere footnote, but a decree of paradigm-altering potential. And as the Archbishop stepped back into the shadows, he carried with him a secret that would soon ignite a firestorm of controversy. Tensions have simmered beneath the royal surface for years, growing ever more intricate like a spider's web spun in shadow. In the grand halls of Buckingham Palace, where history's whispers float gently on the whispering breeze, the entrance of Meghan Markle into the House of Windsor was far from a simple tale of union and celebration. Instead, it was a saga marked by undercurrents of conflict that threatened to capsize the storied family. Her arrival in the royal fold should have been a beacon of modernity, yet it soon became clear that beneath the gilded veneers fractures were forming, weakening the ancient walls of tradition with every unspoken word. Meghan's entry was met with fanfare and scrutiny, an outsider welcomed into an age-old institution teeming with unyielding protocols. The world watched as she gracefully stepped onto the royal stage, her every move analysed like a chess piece, ready to unsettle the board. And though smiles adorned the faces of the Windsors, darker realities lurked in the shadows. Public incidents began to emerge, providing subtle glimpses of what lay beyond the palace's stoic facade. From the crafted narratives that danced in tabloids to remarks veiled with the sharpness of a sword's edge, the discord was unmistakable. There were rumors of disagreements, neglected traditions, and modern ideals that collided with time-worn customs in a storm that could not be contained. Behind the regal smiles and poised appearances, the Queen, ever the matriarch, had her private concerns. Her wisdom, honed over decades, identified the potential threat posed by change by differences that ran deeper than the mere breaking of royal protocol. The quiet conversations, the gentle admonitions, and the unspoken expectations were subjects of her private musings. Meghan's unyielding spirit, though admirable, held the power to unsettle the dynasty that had withstood centuries of change. Was it a fear of the unknown, of what might come? Or was it something more poignant, a reflection of an age-old struggle to maintain identity amidst transformation? Intriguingly, Meghan's relationship with the Queen evolved with time, a dance of mutual respect and guarded distance. Her smile remained warm, her demeanour always gracious. Yet beneath the practiced interactions, questions lingered. Did the young Duchess understand the weight of the crown she was stepping into? Did she grasp the intricate web of responsibilities and expectations that came with the honour? Whispers of discontent whispered through the corridors of the palace, carried by staff whose loyalty warred with their newfound bewilderment. The tales of tension were never-ending, snippets of conversations caught in passing, shadows that flitted against the walls in candlelight. These discordant notes played on, each one an ominous melody hinting at an inevitable crescendo. They echoed through the halls, growing louder until they were impossible to ignore, setting the stage for revelations that would soon unravel the carefully spun tapestry. An unseen conflict loomed, an intricate ballet of tradition clashing with new horizons, preparing to shroud the monarchy in a spectre of doubt and division. But beneath the rebellion and silence, the clock was ticking, counting down to a final confrontation. Who truly held the Queen's trust in her closing chapter? Go beyond the public persona and peer into the intimate circle that shaped Elizabeth's last hours. The Archbishop may not have been the only confidant privy to her deepest thoughts. Within the labyrinthine corridors of power, where titles fade and human connections matter, the late Queen's inner sanctum was as much a fortress as it was a crucible of her final days. At its heart, a collection of confidantes whose whispers bore the weight of a nation, each with their own tapestry of influence and loyalty interwoven through the fabric of her reign. Among them loomed the steadfast figure of the Archbishop, the spiritual North Star guiding Elizabeth through countless storms. His presence, a beacon and balm, wrapped around her, offering solace that transcended earthly concerns. Even in the frailty of her final hours, his counsel resonated, each word wrapped in centuries of doctrine and divine assurance, yet presented in a manner tender enough to cradle the soul of a monarch carrying the burdens of an empire. But as powerful a presence as he was, others flitted through the shadows not less significant, just less seen. The Queen's lady-in-waiting, always at an arm's length yet a universe apart in understanding, held an unspoken alliance with her sovereign. Their bond, one of shared silence, spoke often about matters the court had yet to discern. The subtle arch of an eyebrow, the narrowly disguised sigh, these were the brushstrokes of their clandestine camaraderie. And behind each gesture lingered secrets of counsel, carefully sealed before they left her chamber, the whispers never crossing into the ceremonial delight. But in this tight-knit circle, intrigue danced a delicate step with loyalty. Secretive meetings huddled away from prying ears spoke of decisions that would leave an imprint far beyond their keeping. Even now, shadows linger, hinting at clandestine discussions whose echoes might have swayed the course of a monarchy facing the dusk. Those walls, accustomed to keeping secrets, witnessed dialogues between the Queen and her advisors where words were more potent than decrees. Despite the discreetness that had come to define her reign, even her staunchest allies couldn't claim to know her final decree. What perplexing shadow loomed in those last conversations between the Queen and the Archbishop? His privilege of witnessing her last utterances was not just a privilege, but a burden that few could envy. And what were those words shadowed in reverence that might never touch a page? a mystery wrought from the silent strength of a queen, fortified by confidences shared behind closed doors, now weighs heavily over the palace. As speculation mounts, the weight of this secret bears down, threatening to fracture the palace walls. The truth, an entity both revealing and withholding, leaves room for only conjecture, as those who stood closest to her must reconcile their roles in epitaphs that remained just out of reach. And so, within these hallowed halls, the spirit of the late Queen lingers not just as a ruler, but as a woman bound by ties of humanity and history, silently enthroned in the hearts of those who knew her best. The reverberations of the Queen's last words hit the royal family like a thunderbolt. It was as if the very air within the palace crackled with an unfamiliar tension, a tempest hitherto unthinkable within the hallowed halls of Windsor. Prince William, standing in the grand but eerily silent sitting room, felt the weight of history on his shoulders shift uncomfortably. Every decision he had made, every moment he had shared with his grandmother, the surrogate monarch in waiting, now seemed under siege by an invisible foe within. His jaw tightened as he glanced at the portraits of bygone ancestors, their regal gazes now seeming to mock him with every unresolved whisper from the past. For Prince Harry, the impact was just as profound, but coloured with a different hue of disillusionment. Oceanic distance had not insulated him from the seismic shock. His heart, tied by invisible cords to the family he'd distanced himself from, pulled at him with a conflicted urgency. Was this a revelation that justified his departure, or did it amplify the longing for a home now tainted by intangible cracks? Meghan, intrepid and steadfast, absorbed the storm with a disquieting mixture of empathy and defiance. Her mind was a whirlwind of thoughts as she prepared to enter the royal circle once again, to confront not just the implied accusations, but the subtle undercurrents of blame. Other senior royals, pillars of tradition and embodiment of the Stoic order, found their carefully mastered composure fractured. Camilla's surprise bordered on disbelief, her grip tightening around the edges of her teacup while calculating the implications with a strategic mind. Charles, caught between duty and disbelief, saw shadows deepening around long familiar faces. He could almost hear past echoes questioning decisions yet made. There was an unsettling ripple, the age-old veneer of dignity cracking, revealing vulnerabilities previously guarded by ceremony and unbreakable silence. Within the palace walls, silent allies and adversaries moved like shadows against the torchlit throne room. Whispered allegiances shifted surreptitiously. Some sought solace in unity, while others quietly celebrated the fissures growing wider, hoping to find advantage in turmoil. The resonance of truth, or its spectre, cast light on loyalists and betrayers alike, forcing everyone to reconsider where trust truly lay. It was here that private conflicts erupted into argument, the lilting cadences of decorum giving way to the raw, exposed nerves of human emotion. And in this crucible of regal unrest, the inevitability of public fallout loomed ominously. The dichotomy of their world, a private sanctum and a global stage, threatened to spin out of control as conspiracies brewed and recriminations rang louder. The tabloids, ever circling, hungered for the unravelling story. The prospect of chaos was no ghostly phantasm, but a roaring spectre awaiting its cue. As William and Harry found themselves at a crossroads, brothers in arms, now facing storms from within and without, the legacy of Windsor felt perilously close to a precipice. As the royal family rallies for control, external forces threaten to accelerate the chaos. Would resolve or demise unfurl across the ever-tightening coils of their monarchy, as relentless as the tides of tradition and change that now surged against them? Only time, and the tempered strength of each member, could navigate the harrowing waters of their collective fate. The nation awoke to front pages ablaze with controversy, each headline more incendiary than the last. Queen's last words, a royal reckoning, proclaimed one, while another screamed, Meghan's mournful truth unearthed. In an age where secrets are devoured by the insatiable public appetite, this revelation sliced through the somber air like a blade. News outlets draped their stories in speculation, sifting through every word of the Queen's final confession, weaving webs of implication and assumption. The kingdom, caught between heartbreak and bewilderment, stood at the precipice of chaos. Social media became a battleground. Platforms erupted with hashtags, opinions darting as fast as arrows in the night. Hashtag Monarchy Matters surged, a digital rally for tradition and continuity, while hashtag Truth for Meghan found equal footing, demanding transparency and change. The fervour spread like wildfire from one feed to the next, gathering strength with every retweet and shared post. Influencers and celebrities joined the discourse, their voices carrying the weight of thousands. The opera of opinions crescendoed, each speech a vehement plea for justice, for reform. In the midst of this cacophony, every citizen found themselves a participant in this unyielding dialogue. And yet the streets echoed a different story. Vigils and demonstrations mingled under a swelling sky of discontent. In city squares, banners fluttered like unsettled flags of ideological battle. Some gathered to honour their monarch, tears tracing paths of pride and loss upon their cheeks, while others clamoured for clarity, for the rot they believed lay at the heart of the crown's history. The monarchy, once perceived as a sanctum of unyielding grace and dignity, now stood both revered and reviled, a fixture of immense influence, cast in deep shadow. This moment of strife was not without its echoes from the past. History, with its cyclical nature, reminded the populace of controversies gone by, scandals that once shook the very foundations of royal legacy. The abdication crisis, the marriage of princes to commoners, the tumultuous tragedies and triumphs that each generation weathered. But never before had the stakes felt this personal, this piercing. The monarchy's place within the empire seemed more precarious now than ever. Beyond borders, the monarchy's image rippled outward, an unsettling stone cast into international waters. Eyes from across the globe watched eagerly, cynicism mingling with intrigue. Meanwhile, governments considered their alliances with caution, scanning the horizon for potential fractures within the seemingly impenetrable facade of Britain's beloved institution. Diplomacy now balanced on a knife's edge, poised to teeter under the weight of such monumental revelations. As tensions swell into a media storm, the shadow of inquiry looms large over Buckingham Palace. The world holds its breath, collectively waiting to see if the splendour of the past can withstand the storms of truth and time. The stage is set for a confrontation that will decide the path of a nation and the resolve of a people who, for better or worse, find their identities intertwined with the fate of the monarchy. The monarchy is at a crossroads. Can the Windsors weather this tempest of truth, or will history repeat itself as it did during past royal scandals? The path forward is strewn with dilemmas. Each choice carries the weight of consequence. Under the shadow of thick curtains in marble halls, the echoes of yesteryear reverberate with uncanny familiarity. It was not so long ago that this ancient institution faced its darkest hours, flames licking at the edges of tradition, scandals that danced perilously close to dissolving the very fabric of regal unity. Today, history's mirrors reflect the ghosts of abdications and affairs, of impassioned statesmen and fiery public uproar. But the burden of those bygone crises has not been buried. It has been inherited, woven into the tapestry of today's trials. Behind closed doors, amidst corridors draped with the whispers of centuries, the royal household convenes in tense, strategic deliberation. Like pieces on a chessboard, each move is debated with almost sardonic gravity, the stakes higher than any game played in their fabled past. Opinions clash, reverberating off ancient walls, each voice carrying the distinct timbre of fear, hope, and resolve. Some urge stoic adherence to tradition, a clinging to stony faces amidst the storm. Others argue for evolution, fingertips brushing the dawn of a new royal age, where transparency may be the lifeline to sustained reverence. Yet, the room teems with unspoken tension, a symphony of dissent that hangs heavy like an uninvited guest. For within these gilded confines, not all hearts beat to the same royal rhythm. The personal cost is etched deeply into their eyes. They understand that every decision ripples through their lives, altering futures with the swift cut of inevitability. An heir may find the crown heavier than anticipated. A queen consort may ponder her silence, while younger members glimpse a rebellion flickering in their blood, a desire to chart a course away from the anchor of tradition. As debates simmer and counsel is sought, the questions remain sharper than the answers that slice the crisp air in those hallowed rooms. What path offers salvation or doom? The monarchy stands at the precipice, teetering on decisions that promise not only to redefine their legacy, but determine the future visage of royal influence. Potential resolutions glisten with potential a new charter, perhaps of openness, or the resolute reinforcement of time-honoured customs. Each carries with it shadows of past triumphs and failures, promises of renewal or echoes of decay. And so, with the fabric of monarchy stretched taut by the weight of this unsteady balance, we look forward, for the tale does not end here. Destiny seems to hold its breath, waiting for that one move that could cement their immortality or unravel them to tatters, a relic of another time. Unseen within their midst, destiny wears an enigmatic smile, for as the dust begins to settle, an enigmatic figure steps forward, intensifying the stakes of this royal saga. The air crackled with intrigue as the corridors of power reverberated with whispers of a truth untold. The Archbishop, cloaked in gravitas and a history of silence, had finally resolved to step out of the shadows. Here stood a man haunted by his vow, tormented by the weight of a revelation that could shift the very sands upon which the monarchy stood. His decision to speak was not born of simple bravado, but out of a tormenting sense of duty and an inescapable need to lay bare the arcane secrets whispered to him in strictest confidence. His reasons were manifold, embroiled in a personal duel between allegiance and integrity. The Queen's words, kept locked away in the chambers of his mind, had been a cipher too heavy to bear. His conscience had been a relentless companion, probing, chipping away at his resolve until he could withstand no more. As he stepped forward, shielded only by the clerical attire that had once defined his reticence, a deep exhalation swept through the gallery of onlookers. They anticipated a revelation poised to shatter illusions, one revealing truths long buried beneath the facade of regal composure. She spoke of love, the Archbishop disclosed, his voice a thunderous echo through the gilded halls. The Queen's actual words, those she had enunciated in hushed urgency, to be seen and unseen, to love and to guard. A statement layered with meaning, rich with ambiguity. It was a key to understanding the complexities of her relationship with Meghan, a relationship coloured by both maternal warmth and steely oversight. The audience, eyes wide with enlightenment, recognized these words as lenses through which past judgments would be reshaped. This revelation tore the fabric of understanding, exposing an intricate tapestry of connection and estrangement. Elizabeth's image, once projected in unwavering stolidity, now flickered with nuances, a queen burdened by dualities, who navigated the rift not as a monarch alone but as a grandmother, human and fallible. For Meghan, these words painted a picture of a woman both loved and contained, a prisoner of her own choices, but also a recipient of quiet affection wrapped in ancestral duty. Rippled across continents, this disclosure transcended boundaries and ignited fervent discourse. Media outlets grappled with the seismic shift, and the public, with bated breath, consumed this new narrative with voracious curiosity. Political allies, the press, the ardent royalists, all found their narratives abruptly rewritten, the lines they had drawn now blurred. In this chaotic aftermath of revelation, the future narratives of the monarchy faced inexorable transformation. Histories would need to be rewritten, the entwined paths of Elizabeth and Meghan examined in a new light. The Archbishop's confession was more than a simple unveiling. It was a prelude to redefinition. As the world stood at the brink of reinterpretation, one truth remained: The course of the royal saga, now forever altered, would unfold with renewed scrutiny and perhaps a more profound understanding of its enigmatic matriarchs and heirs. Yet with each question answered, more mysteries arise, propelling us toward the climax of our tale. Can the House of Windsor transform crisis into opportunity? As far-reaching transformations beckon, the royal family stands on the brink of modernization. A new dawn is possible, but only if shadows are cast aside. The revelation that shook the foundation of the monarchy opened a path to change both unprecedented and inevitable. Reflecting on the tumultuous tide, it's clear the Windsor dynasty is not merely surviving the storm, it is reshaping amidst the tempest, embracing the growth compelled by secrets unmasked. Within the hallowed halls, there's a growing recognition of the need for transparency and modernization. The once impenetrable walls of tradition begin to crack, allowing whispers of reform to echo through the corridors. The old guard meets the new with measured caution, while younger voices rise, calling for change that honors both legacy and progress. In the heart of the monarchy's labyrinthine world, a collective realization takes hold. Survival in this age demands candor, the courage to be seen without masks, and the wisdom to blend the time honored with the innovative. As these winds of change sweep through the royal estate, new alliances form, some unexpected, yet resilient. Blood ties intertwine with ideals, as family members recalibrate their roles in this new era. Old rivalries soften into alliances of mutual purpose, some woven by necessity, others by the shared vision of a revitalized monarchy. Their once disparate paths now converge, leading them, united toward the horizon of reformation. Amidst these familial shifts stands Meghan, a symbol of both disruption and aspiration. Speculation swirls around her place within the reborn family, her voice a herald of the future that inches closer with each passing day. Her presence is more than a bridge between adoration and criticism, it is a catalyst, prompting a question that ripples through the monarchy. Could a family's evolution redefine a nation's monarchy? The potential paths forward for the renewed monarchy are multiple, each as daunting as it is promising. The balance between duty and individual desires teeters delicately, demanding nimble navigation. With each step, the royals craft a narrative blending past strengths with future aspirations, eager to birth a monarchy reflective not only of its history but of a modern world. As the dust slowly settles, the public's gaze remains fixed, their perception evolving alongside that of the royal family. Skepticism and hope mingle freely in this new dawn. Acceptance is tentative, but each royal gesture, each decision rippling outward, writes their legacy afresh in the collective consciousness. A monarchy once seen as immutable now dances at the edge of reinvention, inviting the world to witness its transformation. As Britain's storied monarchy steps into a renewed era, one truth remains: the past is but a prologue to the future. The royal family, heirs to a long lineage of triumph and trial, walks forward into this dawn with a single, unified hope to forge a legacy not merely of what was or what is, but one of enduring significance for generations yet to come.